What's poppin'? What's going on, guys? My name is Musi, and in today's video we're going to review the Sony A7S Mark II in 2021. Let's go. So you might be wondering, is this thing still good in 2021? The A7S III came out and the A7S II is still here and people still use it. I still use it and I still love it. It's my favorite camera. Well, it's one of my favorite cameras because it was my first video camera that I started using, and I discovered video production through that camera and I fell in love with it. It was definitely an overkill. I wouldn't suggest you get this as your first camera unless you have the money and you don't care about it. Money. Anyways, is this thing still good? Can you use it professionally? Can you use it for vlogs? What is this for? So I've been using this camera professionally to shoot commercials and videos for my clients for the last 4 years. 2017 to 2021, yeah, that's 4 years. And I gotta say, I love this camera. The slow motion on this thing is a beast. 4K quality is crispy clean. And if you know how to use it and color grade, it's gonna deliver an image quality that's gonna blow your clients away, hopefully. And also a big budget on your computer is and you're also gonna blow a big budget on computer, so you can edit this on 4K. So let's get into some of the pros of this camera. This thing can shoot 4K, full frame, no crop, which is amazing, because the A7R Mark II kind of crops in a little bit, and I hate that because, as you can see, I can't see the rest of the arch, and I'm using a 16mm, whereas this one I usually see the arch and I'm kind of ducking down so I fit in the frame, because this is not a way to film videos. But this shoots full frame, and you got your 5-axis stabilization in here, and if you pair it with a lens that comes with the OSS or optical steady shot, like this 90mm macro, then your image is gonna be a lot more stable than if you didn't have those things. Pair that with a gimbal and you're silky smooth all the way, baby. Now this thing can shoot an S-Log and a lot of other color profiles. If you don't know what those are, don't worry about it. But usually cameras come with a color profile baked in, and saturation, sharpness, how dark is the blacks, all these things. S-Log is essentially as flat as it could be, and it gives you a way wider dynamic range, so you can be shooting in a pitch black room with the windows open and it's not gonna look just white. You're gonna see some stuff when you color grade it properly. You should definitely check that out somewhere on YouTube, because I didn't make any videos about it, not yet at least. You got a lot of function buttons on the camera that you can kind of customize to do whatever you please. I have, for example, the C1 right here. I have the C1 function button to record, because unfortunately they made the tiniest record button in the world and they placed it in a way I never use it. I don't even know what this is. This looks like someone just got a little pen and made a red dot. So I programmed this little guy to be my filming button. To be honest, a lot of people complain about the menu systems, but I have absolutely no problem with them, because once you get to know the camera, once you get to know the settings, excuse me, you can customize it to fit your needs. For example, I have the wheel right here, so I can adjust my ISO. I mean, I picked this camera up for about 4,000 Canadian, I think it was brand new. Now you can pick one up for close to $2,000. It's definitely worth it. I'm pretty sure you can find some for a little bit cheaper. And this thing is a beast. Like, I found out that there was a Netflix documentary shot using this thing, and I was blown away because I was watching this. It was I'm sorry, I can't remember what's the name of the documentary, but I'm sure if you search, you're gonna find one, and I'll try and find it. If I do find it, I will write the name in the description. All that to say, the entire thing was shot at night. It was an animal documentary shot at night, and it legit looked like someone had spotlights everywhere to light the lions and the elephants. I was like, what camera are they using to be able to see in the dark? Guess what? The Sony A7S Mark II. And then I was like, yeah, I'm obviously not using this camera to its full potential. To get the most out of this bad boy, you need an external recorder that's going to open up that 10-bit RAW, and you can shoot your S-Log2 and S-Log3, which is a flat profile that gives you a wider dynamic range. Now, when it comes to the different modes you can use on this camera, you have your full frame 4K up to 30 frames a second. You got 60p and 120p, which is 120 frames, but only at 1080p. And to be honest, the image quality is great. I prefer the 1080p, I prefer the 120 frames slow-mo over the 60 frame because of the bitrate. Here, when you shoot on 60 frames, you have 50 megabytes per second, as to where the 120, you shoot at 100 megabytes per second, just like the 4K. But that's one of the downsides of this camera, is you don't have a lot of data when you record. You're only getting 100 megabits per second, which is not that much when you compare it to something like, you know, the Canon, I don't even know what it's called anymore. The Canon R5, I think, which shoots at like 500 megabytes per second, which is like 5 times the data. And this gives you so much flexibility when you're editing because you have a lot of information that you've recorded. As to where this, if you kind of push, if you're using like the normal, you know, camera profile and you're shooting and you're editing, let's say you have a dark scene and you want to brighten it up, you're gonna start seeing some noise and some weird artifacts, especially with slow motion, and even more so with the 60 frames a second. So to get the most out of this bad boy, like professionally, I mean, not for vlogs because that would be overkill, get an external recorder, something like the Shogun, get an external recorder and plug it right in, and then you'll be good to go. Now, is this thing still good for 2021? Canon came out with their R5, and Sony released the A7S Mark III and the Alpha, which is a beast. To be honest, I'd rather sell my A7S II and my A7R II to get that camera, but it's like 8,000 Canadian. Yeah, it's like both cameras combined, plus tax. And yeah, it's a lot of money. But this thing, if you want to use it to shoot professionally for clients, I would definitely suggest this camera. Now, my last review video took off. Went to the moon, like Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is not at the moon yet, it's still in the stratosphere. But I would like to make more camera related videos because apparently people like that video way more than all my other videos. And I actually enjoyed making it a lot more than all my other videos. So this is why we're making this video today. Now, with that being said, if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, also give it a thumbs up because it's free. I will see you sometime this week. Peace.